Most people believe money is a game of math. They think debt is just a calculation of interest and income. But math doesn't make people stay awake at night. Numbers don't create a pit in your stomach. Emotions do. The most effective emotional tool in the financial industry is shame. Shame is the silent tax on your confidence. It's the feeling that you are behind, that you are failing a test everyone else is passing. But this isn't natural. It is a manufactured state, because a person who feels ashamed is a person who is profitable. Shame is a barrier. If you feel embarrassed by your bank account, you won't talk about it. You won't ask for help or compare notes. This silence is a gold mine. In the dark, predatory systems thrive without being questioned. Look at luxury. It isn't just selling a product. It's selling an escape from the shame of being ordinary. It's a social trap. The system creates the insecurity, then sells you the cure. It tells you that you are inadequate. Then it offers credit. You buy status to hide the shame. But the interest on that status creates a new kind of shame, a deeper debt. This is the cycle of profitable regret. You spend money you don't have to impress people you don't like. The banks collect the gate fee. Shame makes you hide your mistakes. If you overdraw, you feel like a failure. You don't call the bank to negotiate, you simply pay the fee and hope no one saw. This hiding behavior is key. It earns institutions billions in penalties every year. They rely on your embarrassment. They count on your silence. Consider the wealth gap narrative. It is often framed as a moral failing. If you struggle, the system implies laziness. If you are in debt, it implies you are reckless. This shifts the blame from the system to the individual user. While you are busy judging yourself, you aren't judging the interest rates. You aren't noticing the lack of education. Self-blame is a perfect distraction. It keeps you small. It keeps you quiet. Most importantly, it keeps you compliant. Shame also fuels the buy now, pay later industry. These services are designed to be discreet and quiet. They allow you to maintain the appearance of wealth while eroding the reality of it. They profit from your image. The late fee is the literal price of shame. Many have the money but forget the date. They feel too stupid to ask. The system waits for that moment of self-criticism. It harvests the revenue of your mental exhaustion and fear. Even the way we discuss budgeting is shaming. It's framed as a diet, a restriction, a punishment for poor choices. This makes the process painful, and because it's painful, you avoid it. Avoidance is the architect's greatest ally. An ignored balance grows faster. An unread statement collects more interest. The system doesn't need you to be smart. It just needs you to be scared. Scared of the truth. Scared of the numbers. Scared of what the neighbor might think. Look at student loans. A generation was told that not going to college was a source of shame, a lesser life. So they signed for debt they didn't understand. They traded their future for a social credential. The lever was fear. Now, that generation feels the shame of the debt. They feel they made a mistake. They feel trapped by a choice. The system profited on the way in. It profits on the way out. It harvests the interest of your social anxiety. Social media is the new engine of financial shame. It is a 24-hour feed of highlight reels, a comparison machine. The brain sees a peer on vacation and feels a lack. That lack is a physical discomfort, a feeling of being less. The quickest way to numb that feeling is to spend, to match the signal, to prove you belong to the group. It's a race with no finish line. The only winner is the company providing the financing. They don't care about status. The most powerful part of this force is its invisibility. No one admits they spend out of shame. We call it therapy. We call it treating ourselves. But deep down, it's a reaction to a wound. A wound the market keeps open. The system loves a wounded ego. A wounded ego is a hungry ego. It will eat anything to feel full for a moment. It will trade 40 years of freedom for 40 minutes of feeling important. This is the core of the economy. Modern algorithms don't just track your spending. They track your insecurities. They know when you feel lonely. They know when you are comparing your life to a stranger's post. They wait for self-doubt to serve an ad. This is the digitalization of social pressure. In the past, you only compared yourself to neighbors. Now, it's the world. The gap between reality and the digital image is the shame zone. This is where aggressive products are sold. We are told that self-care is a purchase. If you are stressed, buy this. If you are tired, book that experience. It frames your human needs as transactions. If you can't afford the cure, you feel a new layer of shame. It is a double-sided trap. You are shamed for the struggle, then shamed for the solution. Think about wealth trends. People showing off gains creates a secondary shame for those who haven't started. It makes the first step feel small. It makes saving $50 feel embarrassing compared to investing $10,000. So you do nothing at all. The system loves your paralysis. It wants you to feel so far behind that you never even try to run the race. But once you recognize the game, the shame loses its grip. You realize bank balances are metrics, not mirrors. The balance tells you where you are. It doesn't tell you who you are. Stop being embarrassed. Start being dangerous. You start asking questions. You start negotiating. You realize the status they sold you was just a gilded cage. You stop caring about looking wealthy and start focusing on being wealthy. Those are two very different paths. One path is paved with the approval of others. It's expensive and exhausting. The other path is paved with truth. It starts with a difficult conversation. It starts with looking at numbers without flinching. It starts with forgiveness. Forgive yourself for the mistakes. The system was designed to catch you. It exploited your need for belonging. You weren't stupid. You were targeted. You weren't lazy. You were navigating a maze built by experts. The greatest act of rebellion is self-acceptance. It's the ability to say, I am here and I am in control. Once you remove the emotion, the math is easy. You see debt for what it is, a contract that can be broken. The fog clears when you realize the system wants your silence. It wants you to stay in the dark and hide. But when you bring finances into the light, shame evaporates. It cannot survive the gaze of a conscious mind. Stop paying the shame tax. Stop letting a corporation define your worth. The numbers on the screen are just ink. The maze only works if you're afraid of the walls. Walk through them. The truth is much cheaper than the lie. When you lose the fear of being judged, the system loses its leverage. You become unmanipulatable. You become free. The path to wealth doesn't start in a bank. It starts in the mirror. Once you see the trick, it stops working. The system thrives on the social default. It counts on you following the crowd into a lifetime of high-interest payments. When you stop seeking external validation, the debt trap loses its gravity. You realize you don't owe the world an image. True financial power isn't about how much you can spend. It's about how much you can refuse to spend on a lie. This refusal is the ultimate quiet confidence. It is the moment you realize that enough is a state of mind, not a number. The market can't monetize a person who is content. It can't influence a person who is not afraid of being seen as simple. Once you own your story, the mistakes and the struggles, the system has nothing left to hold over your head.